Today we honor one of Bothel's own. We honor a son, we honor a brother, a partner, a friend, a co-worker, a citizen, and a public servant. To know Doug is to know the Allen family. Doug grew up playing in our parks and our ball fields and working in our community. Public service has always been important to the Allen family. Doug's father, Steve, served on our Parks Board and also our Board of Adjustment. Currently, Doug's mom, Joanne, is serving on our Parks Board. Together, Stephen and Joanne have served our community for many years and currently continue to as coach and umpire to our youth sports league. Doug's older brother, Daryl, worked as a seasonal employee for our parks division. When Daryl applied for the position, his sister Dana also applied. And they were both top candidates, and it was a little bit difficult for the city to make a decision. It's my understanding that Dana thought about it and thought who needed the job more, her or Daryl. So she withdrew her application. That is what family is about, and that is the Allen family of Bothell. Doug followed Daryl in his footsteps and became a seasonal employee for our Parks Division. During this time, he showed an exceptional aptitude and expertise working on our sports fields. And after a few years as seasonal employee, Doug worked his way up to full-time, and naturally, he became our sports field specialist. There is a simple saying that our city employees use to honor Doug, and the saying is, green fields, straight lines. That is Doug, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because you see, Doug loved parks and he loved working in the ball fields. He was so committed that after mowing the lawn or mowing the ball fields, he would bring his girlfriend, April, to come and check out how he did. Now that might seem a little bit unusual to some people, but to people who knew Doug, that became a standard of commitment and dedication. Doug would also, after he became a full-time employee, come out on the weekends to check in with the seasonal employees who were prepping the ball fields, because Doug remembered what it was like and how much he enjoyed it. Ultimately, Doug believed in serving our citizens. Doug was Bothel's ultimate sports field specialist, 24/7. In closing, we would like to recognize a few people. First and foremost, we would like to recognize Steve, Joanne, Daryl, Dana, and Dustin Allen, as well as Doug's partner, April Northrup. Through it all, your strength and courage during your darkest hours has been admirable to all of us. There is no doubt that your family is strong, and Doug was lucky to have all of you in his life. We also want to thank our city staff, and especially our Public Works Operations team. Throughout this past year, since Doug left us, you have remained strong. You continue to honor Doug through your hard work and dedication to public service. We especially want to thank Park Team's member, Brian Wirt, who has taken over as our sports field specialist and worked extremely hard to prepare for today's ceremony. We would like to also recognize King County Councilmember Bob Ferguson for his leadership in making this day possible by getting the fields transferred from King County ownership to the city of Bothell. We would like to thank our honorable park board members, Peg Dow, Kristen Brock, Joanne Allen, Kathy Vanderhook, Roger Cecil, Greg Devine, and David Wickwire, and also my fellow city council members, Mayor Mark Lamb, Joshua Freed, Trish Sandberg, Dal Spivey, Bill Evans, and Patrick Ewing, who were unanimous in support of moving and renaming these fields forward. Thank you for honoring Doug. And finally, we would like to thank Doug for all the good times we shared, the memories we cherish, and your service to the citizens of Bothell. I now would like to turn this over to Doug's father, Steve Allen, for a few words.
We, my family and the Northrops, thank the City of Bothell for all they have done for Doug as well as for us. This city's staff is a unique blend of talents, but their compassion is overwhelming. We appreciate being included in so many of the details of the past year's events and being made to feel welcome and wanted. We were included in the idea phases, the planning phases, and so on, but more importantly, we also got to provide some sweat equity working along with the city crews. A comment that was made by Brian, who was just mentioned a few minutes ago, who was the lead on this site for this project, was especially funny. His observation was that right now, Doug was watching us working side by side, laughing his butt off because his dad was now working for Brian. Many people took part in the planning, design, and construction of this tribute to Doug. And to mention anybody by name would be unfair, as undoubtedly someone would be left out. So please accept our thank you to the city as an individual heartfelt handshake, hug, or embrace. Well, this is an honor to Doug, a young man who is just starting to find himself. This should serve as a tribute to Doug's coworkers. Yes, you did go into this to honor Doug, but in doing so, you honor yourself. And you are an incredible team and a group of people we are humbled to have gotten to know much better. While Doug's death was tragic and will always be painful, we have learned so much more about him than we ever knew through other people's eyes. We've also encountered incredible people, all trying their best to help in any way they can. One individual is David Quiring of Quiring Monuments. Quiring Monuments is the manufacturer of Doug's headstone, and while we were designing the marker, David passed on this analogy of life that I feel fits into the dedication of this park perfectly. When we are born, God throws a small stone from the shore towards the sea. This is when you were born into the world. Some stones travel a long way and some barely travel at all before they fall into the sea. But fall they do, and they disappear from view just as our loved ones live their lives with us and then their spirit leaves us. Of course, the rock doesn't cease to exist just because it is below the surface of the water, as our souls are just in another place. When the pebble hits the water, the ripples also move across the water, and so does the memory of our loved ones after death, through us to others. These are the influences that we leave as we move through our lives and finally fade. All the people that we touched, all the people who knew us, carry some of our uniqueness and pass it along to others who pass it along. So we never really leave. We just drop out of sight, and those who live on, just like the air currents and the ripples, pass our essence along for eternity. It is our hope that this park will not only serve as an honor to Doug, but as a reminder to the city's employees how important their support, love, and dedication to each other is. As such, we wish to dedicate Doug Allen Sportsfields to the City of Bothell's employees and their families. Thank you.